Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Real Sports Updates here, back again with another video. You see the thumbnail. What's going on with the Chiefs offense? Um, they've been struggling, not just offensively, but as a team. I think there's a few reasons why. And I talked about this in a previous video that I made about the Chiefs. I think their offense is really starting to read their own press clippings, specifically their offense. We see all these videos on social media about Patrick Mahomes and what he can do and his no look passes and how good Travis Kelce is and how fast Tyreek Hill is and all this other stuff. They got to get back to the basics. They're able to run the ball pretty well, but I think they're not okay with playing boring football. You know, everything has to be an explosive play. Everything has to be a kind of a highlight play, and they're not okay with playing boring football. Specifically, Patrick Mahomes, he's not okay playing boring football. You look just back to the game on Sunday against the Chargers. On that opening drive, the Chiefs' opening drive, he had a receiver wide open, and he had no pressure around him. And instead of stopping, setting his feet, putting the ball right between his numbers, he throws a no-look pass, kind of throws it a little bit behind him off to the left, the receiver's right. He gets his hands on it, stops the momentum of the ball, and Asante Samuel Jr. picks it off. It's just things like that. You got to get used to playing boring football. You know, everybody always talks about how good Mahomes is, and he's getting compared to Tom Brady and all this stuff. The thing about Tom Brady is completely content playing boring football. There's games, Brady's best, I think stats-wise, his best game was that Super Bowl against the Eagles, where he had, 500 yards through the air and, touchdown after touchdown and great throw after great throw. Brady is capable of having those games, but for the most part, throughout his 21-year career, he's been known more for playing boring football, meaning he's playing complimentary football. Specifically on teams that he's had really good defenses. To complement what they do offensively, he's okay with going out throwing for 230, 2 touchdowns and no picks, and just putting the ball where it needs to be. Hitting his running backs out of the backfield, and not having those splash plays. And you really don't need those. It's good and all this stuff for social media, but you take those chances and you take those risks. You put the ball in harm's way. Sooner or later it's going to bite you in the butt. So I think that the first thing is they need to get back to playing basic football. Number 2 is the new offensive line, and I hinted at this in the previous video that I did as well. All 5 offensive line positions are new. All 5 guys are new. There's 2 vets and 3 rookies. No. Yeah, I think there's 3 rookies and 2 vets on that offensive line. So they have not reached their full potential yet. And Patrick Mahomes he's a quarterback who's hard to block for, just because he goes off schedule and he goes off script so much. As a offensive lineman, you have to be on the same page as your quarterback, and that's going to take time. I do think that they'll be better than what they are now, but that gets developed over time. And the dangerous thing about that is, there's injuries will happen. You just hope that it's not anything serious, but injuries will happen. So the continuity that the offensive line needs to improve, it's got to be there. They got to be healthy, and they all have to be able to gel and get on the same page. Mahomes, he plays off script a lot, so it's very difficult for those guys to get in there, day in and day out, and because I'm sure they go through probably their entire playbook, you know, within a week or 2 week span or whatever. But the way that these plays get executed in the game are completely different. Um, you know, you got Mahomes rolling out to his right, to his left. You know, and you as a lineman, you don't know what you're blocking against. And they've done a fairly decent job for a new group, but they have not been as good as they need to be, especially for Kansas City to advance to another Super Bowl. So that's the second thing is offensive line play. Um, third thing, uh, third and final, you know, reason, which is the most obvious, is the defense. The defense sucks very, very bad. They are, so far, they've had 14 trips. Opposing offenses have had 14 trips in the red zone and scored 13 touchdowns. Um, they've only limited a team to one field goal, and that was this past week with the Chargers. Their defense has to get better. They don't have very much. They don't have very. I don't want to say they don't have very much talent, because they do, but they don't have guys on the defense who are known for like individual accolades. Aside from the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, nobody else is really, you know, nobody else really stands out. Chris Jones, you know, he can, you know, he can be good, but the way that they're using him right now, they have him on the outside at defensive end, and I don't think he's not great there, just because he's not he's a bigger dude, so he's more of an interior lineman than anything, and I think he's not able to get that push up the middle that the defenses need to make quarterbacks feel uncomfortable. He's on the end, and you know, him being as big as he is, you know, it's just not a great. It's not a great, you know, position for him. He's not able to maximize his talent, maximize his ability on the outside. He needs to go back inside. That's something I'm gonna be looking for when the Chiefs play the Eagles on this Sunday. I think they're gonna push him back inside. They're gonna have to, because they're gonna have to get some push from the inside. Defensively, they are discombobulated. They do a lot of blitzing. Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator, they do a lot of blitzing. So just in the game on Sunday, I seen there's a lot of confusion about different coverages and where guys should be. You know, especially when they do blitz, because they do bring a lot of pressure on second and third downs. They bring a ton of pressure, and it could be effective, but you know, the guys on the back end have to know where to go. They have to know where to be, and they have to know who to be matched up against as well. So there seemed like there was some confusion there. They're gonna have to get that fixed, because they're just not. They're not. They're not good defensively, and it's going to limit what Kansas City can do. Because it doesn't matter how good your offense is, if your defense is giving up touchdowns in the red zone, you're gonna have a tough season, and it's not going to end up the way that they want to. They have to get stops in the red zone. They're gonna have to force teams to kick field goals, and they need turnovers too. They're gonna have to get turnovers. They need turnovers, just because of how bad they are. You know, you look back to the game 2 weeks ago. You know, Lamar Jackson throws 2 interceptions, one pick six, and he threw another one coming out. You know, I think it was the following drive, and Kansas City still ends up losing that game with 2 takeaways. So that's how bad their defense is, to lose a game when you have 2 takeaways. It shows how bad their overall defense is. That's a game you should win. You know, especially with Baltimore's injuries and stuff like that. So that really, as you see the season progress, you know, you start to go back and look at these games and like, wow, these guys really are not. They're not good. So they need to improve defensively. That's the most important thing. And they don't have to be, you know, the 2000 Ravens or anything like that. They just got to get stops in the red zone. They got to force teams to kick field goals because they're not doing that now. They're getting ran on in the red zone. They're getting thrown on in the red zone. So they need to come together and improve. I don't know what because their defense is they are who they are now. You can't make wholesale changes during the season. They have who they have, but I think if they simplify it a little more, simplify the blitzing a little more, throw Chris Jones back inside, I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll bounce back. They do have Philly this week, and Philly just got blown out by the Cowboys on Monday night. So I expect the Chiefs to bounce back in a big way against Philly. They are who they are offensively. We know that. Defensively, Philly doesn't pose too much of a challenge. It would be the worst offense that they face so far. In their first 4 games. So I think that they will bounce back, but going forward throughout the season, it's going to be interesting to see how they respond to this adversity. I don't, in this run that they've had, I don't ever remember them having this much adversity to deal with right now, and they do. They have quite a bit. But like I said, I think that they'll respond. They are Super Bowl champions. So nobody in the building is panicking, but they need to improve. They have to improve if they want to get back to the Super Bowl. If they want to get back to the AFC Championship game, they're going to need to improve their defense. And we'll see where they go from there. But that's first things first. Defense. Mahomes got to play boring football, and if they're able to do those 2 things, they'll be back. They'll be right back where they expect to be. But they gotta do the work. This is the NFL. You can't just get up on Sunday, think you're gonna go out there, throw for 400 yards and be able to stop everybody. You got to put the work in. No matter how good you are. I seen Jalen Hurts had a quote saying that. Him playing quarterback, the rent's due every day, meaning you got to put that work in every day. So for the Chiefs, the rent is due every day. You got to put the work in. And they got to remember, nobody's afraid of them anymore. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers gave the blueprint on how to beat these guys, and teams are using it. Baltimore used it. The Chargers used it. The Browns used it, but they blew it by turning the ball over themselves. But no, they don't have that veil of fear over the league anymore. So they have to understand they're going to get every team's best game. So their improvements need to start early in the week, and they need to carry it into the weekend, improve it on the field. So, but we'll see where they go from here. I just wanted to kind of touch on what's going on with them. Been very interesting. They're 1-2. They're last place in the division. Through 3 games, which is not a big deal. But nobody expected them here. But that's what's going on with them, and that's their reality right now. So they know what they need to do. Like I said, the champions. They got a bunch of veterans on that team. Andy Reid himself is a veteran coach, lots of experience, lots of Super Bowl experience as well. So, and hopefully he's doing better. I seen that he was rushed to the hospital after the game, so hopefully he's doing better. And I think he is. But I think they'll get it together this weekend, and it'll be interesting to see going forward. So, yeah. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and thank you guys for watching.